Good afternoon, evening, good night, whatever it is. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. How are you all doing? Welcome back to Premier League Dad. It's a massive night tonight in the Championship. The first playoff game. There's already headlines being created around the playoffs. Southampton and Middlesbrough embroiled in a spying headline. Southampton sending spies to Middlesbrough's training camp ahead of their playoff semi-final tomorrow. The first leg. We're going to be watching the second leg of that one on Tuesday night. But we're watching the first leg of this one. Hull City at Stadium MK sneaking in to the playoffs on the final day of the Championship season. Do you know what? Hull, for most of the season, looked like they might even be a competition for the automatic spots. They did really, really well, and then they just collapsed at the end of the season. Final sort of 9-10 games. I think they won 2. One of which was on the final day. They won one of the final 7 games. Real collapse from Hull, and they only just snuck in ahead of Wrexham and obviously Derby, who lost on the final day as well. So, congratulations to Hull, fantastic, and could they then carry that sort of... Could they turn that around? Could they turn that around? Could that reprieve get them back into some sort of form as they face Millwall, who many would say are the favourites for the playoffs? Millwall have been fantastic. Again, another side who you would maybe have thought could, possibly, maybe, have been hard done by in not going straight up. They again had a little late wobble, losing to Norwich at the Den a few weeks ago. And yeah, listen, both sides, I think... I'd quite like to see Millwall go up because they're new. We've not seen them in the Premier League before. I'd quite like to see Hull go up. If I'm dead honest, I think these are the two sides I would rather see in the Prem, more so than Southampton and Borough, just because we've seen Southampton and Borough somewhat recently. I quite like Hull, and I quite like... I don't know. I quite like Millwall. They're just a novelty. They're a new thing we've not seen in the Prem before. But I want to see what you guys thinking. What are your thoughts on this one tonight? Hull City, maybe springing a shock. They've got to do something to take a result, let's say, back down to the Den. And we'll go through the lineup shortly. How are we all doing in the chat? The lineups, in fact, are on this side. You can see them on this side, as you can always on the stream. Jellyfish, how's it going? Hitler, how's it going? Fantastic to see you guys in. Who else have we got in tonight? Connor, lovely to see you, Connor. City of Northville, Millwall, let's do this. I admire Millwall's proud tradition of shithousery and want them to come and make trouble in the Premier League. We need it after Arsenal turned the place into a snooze fest. There you go, even Millwall's shithousery to be welcomed in the Prem by some. Let's have that. Liam, lovely to see you too. Shell, as always, great to see you. Sarah's gone for the Hull win. Lewis thinks a draw tonight. Can't quite make the mind up. The chat as yet. We've got Hull City to win, 56% in the poll. 11% saying draw. Millwall 33%. So it should be close. Should be close as the night goes on. How are we all doing over on TikTok anyway? Ollie McBurney starts tonight. Yes. Joe Gellart behind him as well. That should be fascinating. Liam Miller, former Liverpool youth player, starting on the left. Bellumi on the right. Slater and Crooks behind them. And then it's a back four of Coyle, Egan, Hughes and Giles with Panda in goal. For Millwall, it's Patterson in goal. Sturge, Cooper, Kramer and Leonard at the back. Denore and Mazu Sakho in midfield with Finn Aziz, Ballo, Negley, and Femi Aziz, not Finn Aziz. Finn Aziz plays for Southampton. Femi Aziz, Negley, Ballo, and Josh Coburn, who scored against Middlesbrough a couple of weeks ago. We watched that one, didn't we? Millwall away at Borough, and Josh Coburn got the double that turned it round for Millwall that day against Borough. MCFC edits. Over 50 million people have signed that Mbappe out petition. Oh my God. Craziness. 7 minutes to kick off. Get your predictions in the chat. Let's catch up with the TikTok crew. Sorry, folks, I'm not ignoring you. Liam Vernon says, Key, are we ready for Liverpool-Chelsea to be an absolute shitter tomorrow? Why will it be a shitter? We'll beat them. We'll beat Chelsea tomorrow. Easy. We'll wipe the floor with them. Murray says, Hackney might be back tomorrow. Daz talks footy. How's it going, lad? Aaron says, are you doing Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Sunderland and City, Brentford tomorrow? I'm only doing 2 of them. Yeah, I'm not going to do United, Sunderland at 3 p.m. I was gonna do it, but I've left it basically. I'm gonna do the 12:30 and the 5 o'clock, 5:30. They're the 2 games I'm doing tomorrow. Ethan says, me and my dad have just secured United season tickets for next season after 20 years of waiting. Wonderful. Hey, congratulations, mate. Enjoy. Andy, how's it going? Are you still hurting after the Liverpool defeat to Man United? Oh, in ways you would never quite understand. It's devastating that Liverpool are going to finish 4th and qualify for the Champions League rather than 3rd and qualify for the Champions League. I'm not sure how I'm going to sleep at night. Lisha says, Dortmund, Frankfurt would have been a game. What, tonight? Lewis, are you doing City v Brentford? I am doing City v Brentford, yes. What are we saying, Finners? Matty, what are we saying? Millwall win 2-1. Why don't you do the prediction? Yes, the prediction stream is tomorrow, mate. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow before the Liverpool game. I was going to do it tonight, but I'm going to do it tomorrow before the Liverpool game. So it's more of a Saturday 12 o'clock to 11:30 just before. So the final, just because I wanted to focus on this one tonight, with it being the Championship, I think that was important. So I've moved it to tomorrow's, before any of the Premier League fixtures anyway. We'll do that and then we'll go straight into the Liverpool game. Connor says, Key, have you seen the new Adidas advert? Reminds me of the 90s street football scene advert. Definitely give a watch if you haven't. I have, yes. Very good. Reminds me a lot of the Nike, the Cage advert, if you remember that one. That's a bit of a back in the day. Eric Cantona on top of a cage. Roberto Carlos, Gerrard, I think, was in there. Zidane, there was Oliver, Ronaldinho. And then it was very similar to that, I thought. Archie, how's it going? Lovely to see you, Archie. Liam says, Key, I've heard that Alex Jimenez suspended. Yeah, Alex Jimenez suspended. I mean, he's suspended. Suspended is the word for Alex Jimenez at Bournemouth. Yeah, I have seen it, Liam. Yeah, I have seen it. I think it's a bit like Greenwood in many senses, is that he's probably not going to play again, irrespective of whatever police investigation matters finds out or uncovers or whatever. Again, court of public opinion. I doubt he plays again for Bournemouth. I imagine he will leave. And it's his birthday today as well, by the way. I didn't know that. Birthday today. All right, Ollie, how's it going? Connor says, yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same as the Greenwood situation. No, he's been caught allegedly. We'll just say allegedly because it's not, there's all. Yeah, I guess one of the question marks is whether or not some of it is AI, whether or not the conversations are complete. We don't want to get into all that. I'm sure there's an investigation underway, but ultimately, that the allegation is that he was speaking to a minor. So yes, there will be an investigation undergoing with Jimenez, and I'm sure Bournemouth will. They've already taken him out of the squad for the weekend. Shell says, Key, can you tell me stuff about Millwall, please? Don't know much about him. Stuff about Millwall in general. I mean, Alex Neil managing them, doing very, very well with them. Unlucky, I would say, to not have gone up automatically. I thought they did really well in the Championship this season. Little bit of I won't go as far as a tail off, but they they finished the season strongly, but they had a little wobble kind of at the start of the year, wasn't it? Just after Christmas, I think they lost a few games in a row, and before that they were doing great. But they did all right. They just didn't quite make it up in the end. I'm not sure how far behind Ipswich they finished. Was it a point, two? A point. I think it was a point or two. So they only just missed out. You've got to give Millwall credit. Very good side. Alex Neil's done really well. And yes, they finished third in the Championship. Hull finished sixth. And Hull will be looking to get the upper hand in this one tonight. And yeah, managed by Bosnian Sergej Jakirović as well, for what it's worth. I don't know if many people might not be familiar with Jakirović. Damn, that dude has a problem. Yeah. Would like to see Millwall in the Prem, says Archie. William Kidd's gone 3-1 Millwall. Okay. Jellyfish, I think it could be a draw, Liverpool and Chelsea, but I'd like Chelsea to win so Liverpool drop points. But yes, I am going to be doing City Brentford tomorrow. I am going to be doing the early game, Liverpool Chelsea, of course. Just not going to be doing the Sunderland United game, which I had originally planned. Be better off with Michael Jackson's assistant coach, Bubbles. Adam, how's it going, lad? Good to see you. JD, favourite fast food restaurant? I don't know. Genuinely. None of them. They all make you feel like death, don't they, to be honest? They all make you feel like death warmed up. Yeah. I don't know, I guess it depends what you consider fast food. My missus is obsessed with Wingstop at the minute. Any opportunity we get to go to Wingstop, she's all up for. Right, let's get the clock underway, because we are underway at Stadium MK. Good game, this one, hopefully. Leonard with a long throw into the box for Millwall to start us off. If Liverpool drop points to that Chelsea squad, yeah, there's nothing down for us, to be fair. Enjoying the Prem this season, as you should be. We've not got long left of it, mate. Enjoy it. Key, did you see about Bruno Fernandes winning Player of the Year? I mean, come on, that's madness, innit? That is madness. That is absolute madness that Bruno Fernandes wins Player of the Year. I don't get that. I have no understanding why. I mean, do you know what it is? It is just a collective lowering of the bar, I think, that Fernandes has got Player of the Year. Millwall ball in off the corner. Cleared away. Millwall continue to press. It's back out to the corner taker. Is it Femi Aziz? Good ball in. Oh, good claim from the keeper. Unlucky. Yeah. So, I don't understand how Bruno Fernandes gets Player of... I mean, it's only Football Writers Player of the Year, which some could say is arguably more important. But, yeah, I mean, like, Henry Winter and all the other... It's quite interesting that him being confirmed as Player of the Year. Strike! Oh, nearly 1-0 Hull. What a run. That would have been a sensational goal. Unlucky from Bellumi. Great play down the left-hand side. Cuts inside and just about gets the shot away. Oh, really, really good play by Hull down the left-hand side here. We've had a bit of an end-to-end start. Wonderful jinking run. Cuts inside, beats a few, and then a good save at the near post, actually. Fantastic save. Will Key score prediction for this one? I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be 1-1. Yeah, I think 1-1 and it goes back to the Den. The Lions against the Tigers. Yeah, I don't think Bruno deserves Player of the Year. I'm baffled why he gets it, to be honest. He's got eight assists, is it? Something like that? 8 assists from open play. He's played about 40% less than all of the other players in the league, so it's no wonder he's so fresh and able to play at his best level every single week. He's not had to play any games, really. AZ said you would only care if it was a Liverpool player that won it. You're just biased. Well, I'm not biased, and here's the example of why I'm not biased, or here's what illustrates why I'm not biased. There's a lot of football writers who've come out off the back of it being announced that Bruno's won it. Right? A lot of football writers have come out and said, "I'm not quite sure why Bruno Fernandes has won that. Like, congratulations to him, but I'm not quite sure why he's won it." And that's from impartial, experienced professional football writers. Henry Winter being one. You know, he comes out and says, I don't understand why he's got it and someone like Declan Rice, for example, hasn't. I don't think Declan Rice should have won it either for what it's worth, but I think Declan Rice would have been a far better shout than Bruno Fernandes. At least there'd have been some elements of success supporting that. Liam says, Key, what do you mean he don't deserve Player of the Year? Yes, he does. He's been brilliant this season. No one's saying he hasn't been very good this season. No one's arguing that. What I'm saying is I don't think that warrants. I don't think finishing third with Man United, getting knocked out of the FA Cup, getting knocked out of the League Cup, and winning an Assist of the Year award, whatever, if he gets most assists in the league, most of which have come from set pieces. I just don't think that warrants Player of the Year. I think that shows collectively that we've had a really bad Premier League year. Arsenal are going to win the league on less points than Liverpool did last year. Bruno Fernandes is going to win Player of the Year. It's a little bit underwhelming. So yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's just a reflection of where we are in the Prem. Shahid, hasn't he got the most assists, Key? He has got the most assists. Yes, he has got the most assists in the Prem. Bruno only played one game a week, says Lewis Brown. It's a long throw in the box here from Millwall. Another one from that right-hand side. Flicked on. Millwall again with another throw. Or he's given a free kick. He's given a free kick there. McBurney, I think, fouled. It's Player of the Year, not Team of the Year, but it still was 15th to 3rd. Most assists, even if you go across competitions, and still got 8 goals. I know, but you say if it's not Team of the Year, it's Player of the Year, then why has Granit Xhaka not got it? Granit Xhaka's had a far more impactful season than Bruno Fernandes. Come on. Bruno Fernandes has been very, very good. I just don't think he's Player of the Year. And I think that's fine to say. I don't think that's like, oh, you're only saying it because you're a Liverpool fan. That's clearly not the case. There's been plenty of other people who've come out immediately upon his announcement of him winning it. There's loads of professional football writers who've come out and gone, Bruno Fernandes? Really? Odd choice, but okay, fair enough. Odd choice. How so? United have improved far more. United have improved far more than Sunderland. I disagree. Unless what you're actually saying there is that Manchester United finishing whatever it was last year, 16th, 15th, wherever they ended up finishing, was kind of a fair representation of where Manchester United are. They aren't the 15th best team in the league, and they weren't last year. This year, it would have been an embarrassment if United finished outside the Champions League places, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. With the money they spent, it would have been embarrassing. With one game a week, the money they spent, they had to finish in the Champions League. They had to qualify for the Champions League. They have done. Sunderland, on the other hand, many people tipped him to go down. Granit Xhaka has been incredible. I think he's had a far more impactful season than Bruno Fernandes. Should Player of the Year go to a defender for once? It could have done. I think Gabriel would have been my shout, honestly. If Arsenal win the league, I'd give it to Gabriel. If City win the league, I would have given it to Semenyo. Mr. Bits and Bob's Clips chatting shit again. I'm out of here. Oh, please stay. Oh, don't go, please. You're going to break my heart. City of North Hill says, oh, it was last year. They were god awful. But that's not where United... That was underperforming, wasn't it? If you looked at the squad on paper, United were not the 15th best team in the league last year. They massively underperformed, didn't they? So come on, like let's be clear about it. United have not overperformed this season. The place in the league relative to squad quality is about 6th or 7th, maybe. If you're being mega pessimistic, I would argue they're 4th or 5th. So finishing 3rd, yeah, good, great, fantastic. Sunderland though, better than Sunderland? Come on. I don't think so. Lewis says, does Rice win Ballon d'Or if Arsenal win the Prem and the Champions League? No. No, I don't think Declan Rice has had that good of a year, to be honest. Jake Hartman, if City win the league, surely Player of the Year goes to Cherky over Semenyo. Oh, no. No, I don't think Cherky's been that good. Ryan Giles, most assists for Hull this season. Look at that, speaking of assists, creating chances. Ryan Giles, 8. 8 this season. Ben 84, MUFC forever. You talk so much rubbish. I wonder why you think that as a Man United fan, Ben. That's peculiar. Clufine, I think Isak and Ekatike was a stupid move. Liverpool needed a centre-back and a high-energy midfielder more than another striker. Do you agree? No. No, I don't agree. I think we absolutely needed 2 strikers, and I don't think it was either or. It's something people have said a lot this season. Why did Liverpool sign Ekatike and Isak? Don't think we needed that. I don't agree. I think we did. We sold 2 strikers. We needed 2 strikers. Liverpool didn't get a centre-back because we lacked the money. We didn't get a centre-back because Palace pulled the plug on the Gay deal last minute. It was nothing to do with money. We didn't run out of funds. We had money. We still have money. We just didn't get one. That's nothing to do with Ekatike and Isak. City of Northland, why did all those same writers slate us to be mid-table this year? I don't recall anybody saying that United would finish mid-table this year. I guarantee if you go back and you look at the predictions for the start of this year, for the vast majority of them, they all said United would be top 6, minimum. Minimum. Ben, because it's true. You haven't got a clue, buddy. Well, then, argue your point. Make a case. Articulate a point. Explain why. Easy enough to just go, you talk rubbish, you talk shit. Well, go on, why? You think Bruno Fernandes is the best player in the league and he deserves Player of the Year. Me and a lot of other football writers have been very shocked by that decision. I'm just saying, I don't think he deserved it. Lewis, will Liverpool be in a title race next season? No. No, I don't think so. Welshwing, evening key. Forest were absolutely shambolic last night. Dreadful. Yeah, dreadful. It's poor, really, from Forest last night. Ultra says no one predicted United to be top 6 after finishing 15th. I absolutely promise you. I reckon if we go back and have a look, let's have a look at the start of the season. Right, 14th of August 2025. They've predicted where everyone will be. Hang on. They've only got top 4. They've only got top 4 on BBC. I'll find another one. I'll find another one. Michael says, most chances created in the league, single-handedly dragged us up the league table and changed our goal difference. I think single-handedly does the rest of your team a massive disservice. No, I don't agree he's single-handedly done it. He's had a good season. Again, no one's denying. Why does everyone go to that place? Why does everyone go to that place when someone says, Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he should have won Player of the Year? And they all jump to, what? He's had a brilliant season. Again, no one's saying he hasn't. No one's arguing he hasn't. No one's saying Bruno Fernandes has been shocking. He's been shit. He's been dreadful. I'm just saying I don't think he's Player of the Year. City of Northville says Goal ran a piece on a supercomputer prediction that had United finishing 12th. Don't think anyone... There's nobody who would have seriously suggested United would finish bottom half this season. Nobody. Nobody. Who would your choice be, pal? I would honestly say, I'd say Granit Xhaka has had a far more transformative effect on his club. I would say Granit Xhaka has had Sunderland... it's been more impactful this season for Sunderland than Bruno Fernandes has for United. I would say, even if you ignore that, because usually Player of the Year goes to teams that actually win something, I would say I would give it to Semenyo or Gabriel, depending on who wins the title. Maybe even Declan Rice. But Gabriel, I think, has been a big factor, maybe the biggest factor in Arsenal winning the league. If City end up doing it, then I would say Semenyo has been a game-changing signing for them and was brilliant for Bournemouth before that too. So I would say Semenyo is a fantastic choice, and I would say Gabriel would be the other one for Arsenal. Maybe Declan Rice. I probably wouldn't give it Declan Rice. I would say Gabriel or Semenyo, but if it was up to me and me alone, I would give it to Granit Xhaka. The Athletic UK edition joked we would be relegation, then made mid-table the consensus. I can't have that. There's no way. There's no way people were predicting United to finish in mid-table. Can't have it. Maybe some people would predict United to finish in the top 6 next season, but would those same people predict United to win the Championship playoffs? The Championship playoffs? Would United win the Championship playoffs? What, against Hull, Millwall, Southampton and Borough? Yeah, probably. John says maybe even Rice. You just said he hasn't been that good this season, which is a joke of a statement. When I said maybe even Rice, I don't think Rice has been as good as he was last year for Arsenal, and I think that appears to be the consensus. Declan Rice is very good, has had a good season, but he's not been... When I say that good, what I'm saying is he's not been Footballer of the Year worthy. He's not been Footballer of the Year worthy. If I was giving it to an Arsenal player, I'd give it to Gabriel. Who goes down in the Prem? West Ham. Yeah, West Ham. Adam Timmins says, I don't want another London club in the Prem. Get these Southerners out. Get these Savon Fairies out. All Boxed Up says, I don't agree with made-up awards. Achieving is the thing. Winning league titles, cups, etc. Not opinion on who feels this or that person should be given something. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ball whipped in. Middlesbrough. Millwall clear it away. Hull now having a little spell of possession. First time in the game, really. It's been all Millwall in the opening 10-15 minutes in terms of it's had... The ball seems to have been more in the opposition half. Or rather in Hull's half all game. And now Hull just about starting to grow into it. Although I would say Hull have had the best chance with Bellumi in the first few minutes. And McBurney's just had a shot there. Swifty, Salah, biggest name to goal this summer, but Stones and Bernardo Silva have been top Premier League players too. I think, to be honest, 2 of those probably will be in the Prem. Or maybe at least 1. Stones will be an Everton player next year. Bernardo Silva, there's been rumours about him going to Arsenal. Hiller says, I would pick Elliot Anderson as player of the season, and I know he hasn't won anything. Elliot Anderson's had a decent year. Far post, Millwall, chance. Unlucky. They've still got it in the box here. Ball played all the way back by Ballo to Sergej. Oxford fan, how's it going, lads? Karma has visited Notts Forest. It's a shame about Forest. You don't want to see any team getting absolutely smashed in a European semi-final. That's the sort of stuff that'll live long in the memory. When's the next time Forest will make a European semi-final? I mean, how long is it since the last one? Talking 40 years. I mean, Forest might never see the days again of a European. Many Forest fans might never see another European semi-final. Oh, big chance this for Hull. Massive chance. Gelhardt. Oh, just lost his footing at the vital moment. Wow. City of Northfield says, I think Bruno, people just underrate Bruno because he's not likeable on the pitch. He whines a lot, which is unlikeable. Doesn't do flair, just grinds. No, I don't think, when you say underrate, I really do rate Bruno Fernandes. I just don't think he's a footballer of the year. And I also don't think he's don't think he's world class. Let's say that. I think maybe his ability is. Maybe his ability is, but I think there's more to football than that. And I think his work ethic and his intensity, I'm not sure I'd want that at Liverpool, irrespective of the quality. Like, in the same sense as, like, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, unbelievable player, but, like, in the dressing room, what's he like on the pitch, throwing his arms up at his teammates? In the right dressing room, that could elevate. I think at Liverpool, it never would. Same with Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a superstar, Bruno Fernandes. He's a superstar, same as Ronaldo's a superstar, and Liverpool don't do superstars. We've never ever had superstars. CSG games, I think Rice is well overrated. I mean, the argument that he's better or in the same category as Lampard and Gerrard is laughable to me. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Bruno's like a petulant child, says All Boxed Up. And Ultradon Gamer says, did you say Bruno isn't world class? I'd like to have what you're smoking. Must be great stuff. Well, what depends on what you're saying is world class. What do you think is world class? I don't think Bruno Fernandes is like absolutely top quality. Like absolutely. All right, let me rephrase that. He's very, very good skill-wise. But I think there's a lot of players I'd want in my team over Bruno Fernandes in that position. Because of how he is, because of his behaviour on the pitch, because of his leadership, because so many times he loses the ball and just switches off, lets his teams do it, because he's throwing his arms up in the air. I think Bruno Fernandes is, at the same time as he's played a big part in where United are this season, I also think he's played a massive part in what United have failed to do over the last 10 years. I think he's a big, big part of that. I think Bruno Fernandes will go down as a very, very talented footballer and an absolute shocking captain. An absolute disgrace of a captain. Not a leader. Probably needed a strong leader at Man United. But just not a strong leader at all. Certainly not someone who does anywhere near enough for me as a captain. What did Gerrard win? Gerrard won everything but a Premier League, mate. I don't think you can use Gerrard as a frame of reference with Bruno Fernandes. Isn't it 10 years? He's been there 5 years, Pillock. All right, then. 5 years. What I'm saying is, the duration that he's been at United, he's played a big part in it. And the malaise, the general malaise at United extends 10 years. That's what I'm saying. The general malaise across the club extends even beyond 10 years, let's be honest. They bought some duds to play around him. That wasn't his fault. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But I think how you react to that tells a lot about maybe the man and the player and the captain. I'll actually say, I think, to be fair, the guys, he could have gone to Saudi last year. United were evidently trying to force him out. He stayed. Fair play to Bruno Fernandes for that. He stayed. He didn't take the money on offer. He didn't go to a lower quality league and stat pad. He stayed in the Premier League and he's continued doing his stuff. And he's a very, very good player. But I wouldn't want him at Liverpool. And I don't think he's a Football Writers Player of the Year nominee, I guess. Oh, Julius, thank you very much. Good lad, good to see you. Member for 3 months now, definitely worth it. We're not getting relegated. Also, got 50 quid if PSG win Champions League. But lose 50 if Louis win. Well, I think PSG will sort you out, mate. Definitely. I think PSG will sort you out. City of North Hill says Bruno whines, but he's not like that everywhere. Off the field, he's helping players buy homes and learn the language, playing tour guide, talking signings into coming. Oh, excuse me. No, and I agree. Like I said, I think he's maybe off the pitch. He's better than he is off the pitch on the pitch as a leader. But who knows? We don't know that. But on the pitch, I don't particularly rate him. Ultron Gamer says world class is top 5 in their position in the world now, but I get what you're saying about Bruno. It's the same reason Mbappe isn't actually that good. Again, yeah, Mbappe, Vinny, unbelievable players, superstars. I don't think they'd fit Liverpool. I don't think they'd fit, and that might be the case with a lot of clubs, not just Liverpool. But I wouldn't want Mbappe. I wouldn't want Vinny. I wouldn't want Bruno. These are players I don't think are good, wholesome for. Or conducive, let's say, to an elite environment, even though you could say Vinny and Mbappe have won the lot. Millwall, big chance. Oh, and Hull just about get it away. No faces. I would not want any Liverpool midfielders. I'll be honest, mate. I don't think many Liverpool fans do at this moment in time. 3-star, how's it going, lad? Good to see you. Hope you're feeling a bit better. Ready for some football again. Good lad. Oh, Millwall couldn't quite get the strike away there. City of North Hill, I do agree in one sense he never should have been captain for me. Martinez should be. Yes, Lisandro Martinez, if he's fit, is the captain at United. Exactly. Welshwing, yeah, go on. If you've got a quiz, we can do yours at half time, mate. Sounds good. Jellyfish, Bruno's so brilliant. His consistency, his levels exceed every match. Beating Liverpool's double with Bruno, world-class performances. Well, he had a world-class moment in the Liverpool game, certainly, that won the game at Anfield. I don't think he was world-class in the game at Old Trafford. No, I don't think he was very good at all in that. Tom says, do you think United deserved the win? I feel we beat you fair and square. No, mate, I don't think United deserved the win. I think you were the better side in the first half, but you shouldn't have scored. The second goal wasn't a goal. It was an handball. And once it's a handball, I think that changes the game. If it's 1-0, Liverpool come out second half, we blow you away, we score 2 goals. 2 perfectly good goals as well, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I've no problem with United winning. I think it was a game of fine margins, but I think you can also look at it and go, Liverpool were really hard done by the ref. It was a clear one that we're going to get an apology from the PGMOL if we've not already. It's a very clear decision. Medusa Cascade, they gave you 2 goals. Liverpool, we gave them 2 goals, absolutely. We forced errors. They didn't. If you look at it that way, Liverpool literally forced United into 2 errors. We pressed and forced them into 2 errors. Their goals were not from... They were from Liverpool clearances. McAllister literally passed it to Mainu, edge of the box. The goals was given to you on a plate. And your goals were given to you, right? Literally by the referee in one sense. So, any argument you can make about United, you can make about Liverpool as well. The handball would have been pulled back for a pen on Sesko and Jones would have seen red. No, they checked that. They checked it and cleared it. It wasn't a pen and it wasn't a red card anyway. It would never have been a penalty. Didn't touch him. Sesko didn't even claim for it. Got straight up. Welshwing says, was having a debate with workmates on this today, Key. What sauce is best for a sandwich? Ketchup, HP, mayo or mustard? Depends on the sandwich, I guess. Ketchup for me if it's sausage game. That would be weird, wouldn't it? But if someone says, hey, Key, what did you think about the penalty decision in the Liverpool United game? I'll talk about it. Brendan says, I agree, I prefer Gerrard, but don't think Gerrard could pull the strings in the same way Bruno does, and maybe not as consistent. Eh? No, that's nonsense. That's categorically nonsense. That is nonsense. I mean, for overall sandwiches, like if you only have one sauce for each sandwich, it would be ketchup, yeah. HP Brown is very nice though, but I'd go ketchup. Bruno couldn't lace Gerrard's boots. He couldn't, could he? No, he couldn't. Christian, who do you want to win, Key? Who do I want to win? I don't really have a preference. I just want to see good football, and we've not really seen it in the opening half hour here. It's a tight and tense affair. Neither side have really had too many chances. I think Hull would be delighted with a draw to take to the Den. Same with Millwall, and I suspect that is how it ends up. Because I think on a one-off game, Hull can beat Millwall at the Den. I also think Millwall will fancy their chances as well in a one-off game, but over 2 legs, I just fancy both teams might keep it tight and cautious here, and that seems to be what we're seeing. It's been a couple of moments, don't get me wrong, where they've kind of wriggled through. Bellumi had a good chance, and a couple of half chances here and there, but 30 minutes in, we've not really had any meaningful shots on goal for either side. But who do I want to win? Honestly, I haven't got a massive preference. I'd quite like to see Millwall in the Prem. I've been quite clear with that throughout the season. I'd say, yeah. If Millwall go up, that'll be a new team in the Prem. Good luck to him. Adam says, you know what's crazy? Bruno wouldn't get in United's treble team. No. There's genuinely, honestly, there is United fans out there that will say that Bruno Fernandes is amongst the very best ever. Like, you're talking Premier League all-timers. If you're doing an all-time Premier League midfield, there's United fans who'll put Bruno in that midfield. Crazy. Absolutely. I think he's a liability. Like, in terms of creating chances, brilliant. Liability, though. I wouldn't want him. Wouldn't have him on the bench. BL says 40 years of watching footballers live. Gerrard's the best bar none. KDB probably the closest. Yes. Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a stretch. Shahid, Key, do you have any Subway sandwiches? Which are your favourite? Millwall strike. It's going to go behind for the corner. Coburn with the effort. Took a big deflection. Subway, I can take or leave Subway, if I'm honest. I don't really have it that often. Like, once in a blue moon. I reckon I've had maybe a Subway once in the last 4 or 5 months. And that was about a month ago, I think. I think I even spoke about it on the stream. I'm not really that fussed by Subway. The bread is basically cake, isn't it? It's like got that much sugar in. I went back and watched that goal on Laman's error. Gakpo did a little feint run to one side, and then Lamans looked down and passed. And when he looked down, Gakpo ran to the opposite side. Clever. Yeah, it was. It was a forced error. Liverpool did well to force the errors, I think, from United. And United played well. United should have been more than 2-0 up in the first half. Even if one of the goals shouldn't have been given. United were comfortably the better side in the first half. I'm not going to argue that. Not at all. What match are you watching? I'm watching Hull City against Millwall in the Championship playoff semi-final first leg. Steve, to be fair, if it takes 90% of the season for someone to find flaws in Lamans, the kid is probably pretty good. No, I mean, it's not taking 90% of the season to find flaws in him. I think his shot stopping is actually quite questionable. Senna Lamans as a shot stopping goalkeeper is maybe... He's got a bit of work to do, but he's a young goalkeeper. And the biggest thing with Senna Lamans is the fact that he comes out and dominates his area. Aerially, off crosses, huge, worlds apart from Onana. Might be in the top 3 goalkeepers in the league at doing that. in terms of coming and claiming, dominating his area, I would put him top 3 in the league for that. Shot stopping, I genuinely think there's maybe 10 better than him. But he's a young keeper, and he will grow, he will learn, he will adapt. And I said that before he got there as well. I remember we watched Senna Lammens in the Belgian league before he joined United. Is a custard cream a sandwich? No. Jellyfish says Isak over 100 million, flop and waste of money. You won't get anything from them players. I mean, United are not one to talk for wasting money. And Isak, I don't think, will be a waste of money. I think he'll be a very good signing for Liverpool. Unfortunately, the lad broke his leg this season, and yeah, he's not been the best in terms of fitness and availability. But actual performances when he has played have not been too bad. Anfield Vortex, I'm no United fan, but Man U have had so many more midfielders that are better. Keane, Veron, Scholes would all be comfortably ahead of Bruno Fernandes. Veron was a better player, but Bruno Fernandes, again, longevity in the Prem. But Juan Sebastian Veron, at his peak, was far better than Bruno Fernandes. Far better. Or at least a midfielder I would want at Liverpool. Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit? You know about that? No, absolutely not. It's definitely not a biscuit. Clues in the name. City of Northville says Lammens is literally third in the Prem for shot stopping among all keepers with significant minutes. Right. When you say shot stopping, what are you talking about? You're talking about actual shots saved. What's the stat you're referring to there? What I'm talking about is he saves what he should save most of the time, but the goals that he concedes too often for me are a little bit too close to the centre of the goal. He's conceded a lot of goals this season where you look at him and think, should be doing better there. Not just like you know, he'd be world class doing that or anything like that. I mean, there's some real questionable goals gone in against Senna Lammens. There's a load of them that I can think of off the top of my head. The one Keane and Dewsbury all scored against him for Everton at Old Trafford was a very, very questionable one. He goes with the wrong hand. It's not in the top corner. It's a bad goal to concede. And I think there was another one against Bournemouth at Old Trafford. There's been a few this season where they've scored and I'm a bit like, probably should do better there. Jellyfish says Veron was good at Lazio and flopped in the Prem key. No, he was great at Lazio. He didn't flop in the Prem. What happened was he went to the Prem and Alex Ferguson tried to give him instructions on where to play, and he said he just ended up going out there and doing whatever he wanted. But there's no doubt Juan Sebastian Veron was a talented player, just never was utilised right in the Prem. He only had a short Premier League career. It's not a flop in the Prem. That's like saying Crespo flopped in the Prem. Crespo, he was good at Lazio, he was good at AC Milan, but he flopped in the Prem. No, he didn't. Hernan Crespo was incredible. Just didn't quite get the right fit in the Premier League. Will, is goalkeeper the hardest position to play in football, do you think, Key? Yeah. Yeah, you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you're done, right? Make a mistake as a striker, fine, you get another chance 10 minutes later. Make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you probably cost your team the game. Crespo flopped. Crespo did not flop in the Premier League. You're off your head. You are off your head, Jellyfish. What games are you doing tomorrow, Egbert? Tomorrow I am going to be doing Liverpool-Chelsea, followed by City-Brentford. Matty Dulls, if Liverpool spent another 500 mil, do you reckon they could get into the top 10? The top 10? We're fourth, mate. That would make sense if we weren't already fourth. Ultron Gamer says 71 saves and a 66% save percentage. You got the numbers mixed up, but I do think Lamont is a bit overrated just because he's the first half decent Man United keeper since 2022. No, he's a very talented young keeper. I would absolutely agree that he's a very talented young keeper and should do well at United in his career. I think he was a very good signing for United. But the argument that he's been like out of this world or is top 3 keepers in the Prem, I've heard this sort of stuff. No, he's not quite there yet, but he's a very talented young keeper. Matty, within 10 points. Within 10 points of what? Brenner says, knew that would get you going. Hear me out. Gerrard wasn't a controlling midfielder. More than made up for it, but was at his best when he had proper disciplined midfielders beside him and he could roam. Gerrard could do everything. Gerrard played right wing for a season and had astonishing numbers. He played central midfield without a CDM next to him quite frequently when he had Xabi Alonso next to him. Sometimes he'd play with Alonso and Mascherano and he did well. He was playing more as a 10 with Torres in front of him. When he played as a 10, he was incredible, better than Bruno Fernandes could ever be. And when he was a right winger and played as a CDM and sometimes he even played right back in a Champions League final as he did, it's just not even a comparison. I'm kind of sickened to my core that we're even talking about Bruno Fernandes and Gerrard in the same breath. It's quite laughable. It's the same thing with Declan Rice. They're not even in the same world. They're not in the same conversation as Steven Gerrard. Within 10 points of first, maybe, possibly, we could get within 10 points of first. But we'll need to spend another 500 million. Yeah, probably. We probably will. And to be honest, we need to spend that much to catch up to the teams around us. It's all well and good saying, oh, Liverpool spent this much money, but we spent this much money and we've still spent a shed load less than everyone else around us. There is a correlation between spend and how well you do in the league. Will says, I'd be gutted if Millwall come up and we lose West Ham. I don't want to see West Ham go down. Truth be told, I don't want to see Spurs go down, but I think they both will. I think they both will. I think it's one of them that will. And I don't want to see Middlesbrough come up. I really don't want to see Borough come up. I'm fine with Hull, I'm fine with Millwall, and I'm fine with Southampton. I'd rather not Southampton. I'd rather it be one of these two. But I really don't want to see Borough come up. Adam, I remember Gabriel Batistuta, heard when he retired was in so much pain with his ankles, he was actually considering amputation. Yeah, he had a lot of injections, didn't he, to get him through games. Weltering from Pong reminds me of Tommy Asu, who wasn't the same after he got injured. Can see him being moved on in 2 seasons. Frimpong never had injuries before he came to Liverpool. He's had a really, really bad run of it. Steve says, are fans in England happy or sad that Wrexham are not playing today? I think a lot of football fans are quite disappointed that Wrexham didn't make the playoffs. Three-star key, they are saying there is a very slim chance of Forest getting in the Conference League this season. If Villa win Europa, we win all our games and certain teams lose all theirs. I don't know. I think you've got to look at the league table at the minute. I think probably strongly suggests that we're going to see Villa. I do think Villa win the Europa League. And then, you look at the Premier League table after that. Bournemouth currently are in the the 6th spot, which would, at this moment in time, get Bournemouth in the Champions League. Brentford 1 point behind them. Brighton are 2 points behind them. And then you've got, Chelsea, Everton, Fulham, who are 4 points behind them. With 3 games to go, I honestly don't see those catching the likes of Bournemouth and Brentford, or even Brighton. So, yeah, if I'm dead honest, I think it's between those 3. The 3 Bs, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, I think they probably dominate the European Europa Conference League space. Palace will probably win the Conference League and be in the Europa as well. So I imagine it'll be maybe... I'd love it. I'd love a world where we saw Bournemouth in the Champions League, Palace and Brentford in the Europa League, and Brighton maybe in the Conference League. That would be fantastic. Al Shamari, if there's one thing I could get rid of forever, it would be YouTube ads. They're so annoying, aren't they? Do you know what, mate? I apologise. I have no control over how frequent... Well, I do actually have a control over how frequent they come on. At the moment, I've just got them set at whatever YouTube chooses kind of thing. Put them whenever you want, but not... You can choose a setting which has it like max, basically squeezing the life out of everyone who watches you. I've never done that. I swear I've never ever done that. Would never do that. It baffles me, and I get what you're saying. It's frustrating when people do. But yeah, it's just on standard. Whatever the minimum is, I guess. Egbert says, do you think the Premier League title race will be decided on Sunday, Key? No, I don't. I think Arsenal will drop points though against West Ham. Anfield Vortex, do you think Ekatike will come back the same player he was after his horrible injury? So many variables in that, isn't there? We've just got to see how he recovers. Welshwing, did you see PSG celebrating like they won the Champions League against Bayern Key? Disgusting scenes. They got in the final, not won it. Oh wait, no, wrong team. Only Arsenal gets that. The problem is Arsenal have celebrated like that far too often in recent years. You would expect maybe an element of humility. They've just not quite learned their lesson yet. Right, we've got 15 seconds to half time. Welshwing's got a lovely quiz for us. Madhouse Key, who's the best super sub ever? I know your answer. Divock Origi. Okay, half time in this one. It's been a pretty dull and dour first half. Again, 0-0. Not really an awful lot going on. Neither side have really had too much to... Neither set of fans have had too much to get excited about. But here we go. We're going to go into the second half. Hopefully we get a goal. Half-time quiz. Welshwing, what have you got for us, mate? No, David Fairclough. That super sub. Welshwing, half-time quiz. Top 15 highest Premier League player appearances in different positions. That doesn't make sense. That definitely doesn't make sense. We need to rephrase the question. Top 15 highest Premier League player appearances in different positions. Can you give us a for instance? Yeah, I don't understand the question either, Brendan. I've got to say, I'm not sure. Milner is first. So we're talking about players playing out of position. Is that it? Right, okay. Players who've played out of position. Again, that's a really subjective one, isn't it? Valencia then would probably be one. Ashley Young would be another. I mean, I guess, you know, you'd look at Dion Dublin. Dion Dublin came through as a centre-back and played as a centre-forward. John Hartson was another one who did that. Chris Sutton was another one who did that. Sobersley is 12th. I get the feeling there's some questionable ones in here. Milner left back, right back, midfield. Barry is 4th. Gareth Barry, yeah, he had a few at full back, didn't he? Bale, Gareth Bale, yeah, started at left back is probably a very good answer. Ashley Young is there. Milner is there. Barry and Sobersley. Bale and Valencia. Have we not had answers for Bale and Valencia? Dublin is 6th. What about Giggs? I mean, Ryan Giggs spent most of his final years at Man United playing in the centre of midfield, didn't he? He was kind of a number 10 / even a number 8 / a number 6 at times. Dublin is 6th. Okay. We had Bale. Chris Sutton played for Norwich at the back, then went up front. He did, yeah. He did. Reece James and Trent kind of, yeah, started right back, moved into the centre. Not a bad shout. Matty Cash. Has Matty Cash moved around? Curtis Jones, Park Ji-sung, Saka. Saka, yeah, Saka played full back for a while, didn't he? Giggs is 12th. Okay. Yeah, Mazraoui's not a bad shout as well, but he's not been in the league all that long, has he? I'm trying to think of players who were very versatile, who kind of played a bit of everywhere. It's tough, this. Yeah, it's really tough. That's a really tough one, that. Owen Hargreaves. Who was the Cardiff defender who Warnock shifted up to striker? Oh, I can't remember his name now. I know who you mean. The one who he said he was as good as Virgil van Dijk. Ben White. Yeah, Ben White's been moved around a bit. That's probably not a terrible shout. Alvaro Arbeloa moved around. Carragher. I mean, listen, Carragher started out as a central midfielder. Played most of his career at centre-back. Mikel Merino is there. Walker, Ferdinand and Kane played in goal once. They did. Irwin at left back and right back, yeah. You could have Dennis Irwin. The Arsenal, any other club's fans with morals should be cheering Arsenal on. Everything above board done by the book. It's not about morals though. Surely it's more about being a football purist and enjoying the football, wanting to see good teams win. That's my approach on it. Anyway, I think, to be honest, there's questionable. Arsenal's approach hasn't exactly been wholesome and fantastic. They've spent over £1 billion, mate. I mean, however you want to dress it up. Irwin is 9th. Okay. Yeah, Doherty. Gary Doherty's a good shout. Phil Neville is 3rd. Phil Neville spent a big chunk of his career at centre mid, didn't he? Alan Smith of Leeds United. Yeah, started up front, played in midfield at United, didn't he? Alan Smith's got to be there. Be astonished if Alan Smith isn't there. Campbell is 13th. Who's Campbell? Sol Campbell. Where did Sol Campbell play? The Arsenal says didn't breach 115 rules, mate. What? Who has breached 115 rules? No one has breached 115 rules. Alan Smith is 14th. And Campbell. Wow. Okay, we're getting there. I don't know. I didn't know Sol Campbell had played anywhere else. Desai. UB, what the hell is a football purist? Someone who wants to see football played in an attacking sense, in the right way, let's call it. The right way. Want to see teams have a go at each other, not sitting back, not boring, not dull. Xhaka used to sometimes play deeper. Does that count? I think it's more of a clear positional. Have we got everyone? Fucking hell, Welsh wing. We've only got 13 names, and of the 13 names that you've given me, you've not even... No, we've only got 11. You want to give us 11? Milner, Ashley Young, Szoboszlai, Barry, Dublin, Giggs, Marino, Irwin, Neville, Smith and Campbell. That's 11 names. We said Bale, you didn't give us an answer. We said Valencia, you didn't give us an answer. Ruud Gullit, got to be. He wasn't in the Prem that long, was he? He wasn't in the Prem that long. Ronaldo famously played 200 games as a midfielder. Miley, Reesa, yeah, John Arne Reesa's probably not bad. Anfield Vortex says Sol Campbell centre-back. No, I know, I never thought Sol Campbell played anywhere else other than centre-back. He was always a centre-back, wasn't he? Carra was 7th. Oh, Bale was 8th. Okay, Bale was 8th. Carra was 7th. Okay, I stand corrected. So, what about Antonio Valencia? Antonio Valencia? Steven Gerrard, yeah, Gerrard again. He played a full season at right wing, didn't he? Definitely played a full season at right wing. He did shift around a bit. Yeah, he was a 10. He was a CDM. He was a right winger. Maguire also played on the wing. Beckham midfield and then right wing. Beckham was always on the wing though, wasn't he? Did Beckham start in the centre? Valencia's 15th. Okay, so we've got 14 now, so we only need one more left. Reesa, I think, might be a good shout. John Arne Reesa started at left back. Started at left wing and moved to left back. He came in as a left winger. So it could be John Arne Reesa. Micah Richards. Didn't he spend most of his career at right back? Ivanovic was not a bad one, yeah. Centre back and right back. Yeah. And he played left as well, didn't he, Ivanovic? Azpilicueta's probably another one by the same logic. Beckham did start as a centre mid. Yeah, but how many games did he play as a centre mid? Although I guess that we don't really know how this is measured. I mean, if he came in the team as a centre mid and then moved to the right, I guess every game that he played at right mid would have counted. Yeah, it's a bit of a rogue framing of a question. I'm not entirely sure. Not Reesa or Ivanovic. Azpilicueta, no. Ben, are you going to be collecting Panini stickers, Key? Possibly, yes. I'd like to. We did say Ashley Young. Yeah, we've got Milner, Valencia, Ashley Young, Szoboszlai, Barry, Bale, Dublin, Giggs, Marino, Irwin, Neville, Smith, Campbell and Carragher. Was Park Ji-sung wrong? Park Ji-sung. Again, yeah, played right wing and then centre mid. Clue is that it's a West Ham player. West Ham player? Michael Antonio? Michael Antonio maybe came in as a left back and then... I think Antonio came in as a left back, didn't he, originally? Or a left mid? And then ended up playing centre forward. Could be Antonio. Park played whatever the opposition's best player was, that's true. Yeah, it might well be Antonio. Wan-Bissaka, Somerville. John Arne Rees is a poker player, acting as an ambassador for the Sigma Poker Tour, apparently. Interesting. It's not Antonio. Can't be Jared Bowen. A West Ham player. Sweet Lord. Genuinely couldn't tell you then. Honestly, I think I'm going to struggle. A West Ham player. Payet, Benayoun. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. I give up. I give up on the West Ham player. Is it a current West Ham player? Juve, Noble. It's not Noble. It's not Antonio. The only clue we've got is that he's a West Ham player. And he played for Fulham. West Ham and Fulham. Christ. Fulham mostly, though. Oh, my God. Okay. Fulham and West Ham player. A Fulham and West Ham player. Bobby Zamora? Bobby Zamora? Can't be Bobby Zamora. Bobby Zamora's always been a centre forward. Can't be Bobby Zamora. Fulham and West Ham. Solchek. No. Scott Parker. Again, did he play anywhere else? I don't think he did. Berbatov didn't play for West Ham, did he? Not Zamora or Parker. Jonathan Pantsill. I'm trying to think of any connection to West Ham and Fulham now. Any Fulham and West Ham players. Jonathan Pantsill. Traore. Adama Traore. Has Adama Traore really played in that many different positions? I don't think he will have done. Paul Konchesky. Maybe. Again, left. But he's always a left back, wasn't he? He was always a left back. This is tough. Really tough. If you've just joined us, we're doing a halftime quiz of players who have played in multiple positions. Basically played out of the original intended position, I guess, is the framing of the question. Milner is first, Valencia's second, Ashley Young third, Sobersley fourth, Barry, Bale, Dublin, Giggs, Marino, Irwin, Neville, Smith, Campbell and Carragher. None of the above. Another clue is he's from Portugal. Ricardo Vazte, Boamorte. I would never have got Boamorte. We'd have been here all night for that one. Well, there you go. Half-time quiz. Thank you very much, Welshwing. Tony Gale, Clint Dempsey. No, Clint Dempsey never played for West Ham. Fascinating. Well, there you go. I would never have said a lot of them. Sol Campbell, I don't remember Sol Campbell ever playing anywhere other than centre-back. Where did Sol Campbell start his career? What position was he? Played him at left back at the start of the 93-94 season. Then he switched to right back in place of Dean Austin. And Jerry Francis moved him to centre back. So yeah, he came in as a full back. Fair play. I didn't know that. That was 93-94. Sol Campbell came in as a full back, and then he moved to centre back in 94-95. Interesting. Yeah, excellent. Well done. Credit to Welchwing. The Arsenal says, parking Arsenal hater side. Does anyone want City punished sometime for 115 charges hanging over them? I think everyone wants City punished if they're found guilty of it, mate. Yeah, I think the problem is that you and others have found them guilty already without any... It's kind of the court of public opinion, isn't it? If they're guilty, yeah, punish them. If they're not guilty, then move on. I think everyone just kind of wants it finished with. It's kind of a shame. It is a shame on the Premier League that we've not actually just got it wrapped up. It's taken far too long, I think. Anfield Vortex, what position would you play or pick from in a footy team, Key? Well, I was either a centre mid or a left back. I was like a James Milner, I guess. I always worked hard, and I had a good left foot on me. So yeah, maybe I'd be like a left-sided, like a Leighton Baines / Trent, maybe at a push. Yeah, wasn't blessed with huge amounts of pace, but I was, I like to tackle. Wasn't afraid of a tackle. Wasn't afraid of a bit of physicality, and I'd always try and work me. If you're not the best player on the pitch, be the hardest working. And I'd always be that guy. Andy Robertson. I'd like to say I'm Andy Robertson, or maybe closer to that. Key, you weren't no midfielder, or you'd have been subbed after every 20 minutes. You can't get subbed every 20 minutes, mate. That's not how football works. No roll on, roll off in footy. Ronnie says, thoughts on Bruno winning Player of the Year? We've just been talking about it, mate. Yeah, very surprising, isn't it? Welshwing says, would you say the same with Partey situation where Arsenal was scrutinised for playing him even though he hadn't been found guilty yet? Well, you can say the exact same thing, yeah, with the Jimenez situation. Look at what Bournemouth have done with Jimenez. Serious allegation, dropped from the team immediately. multiple serious allegations with Partey, and was continued to be played. So I think that's the difference, Welshwing. That's the difference. PDM, good evening, Marquinhos. Key the workhorse is right. How's it going, lad? I saw that. Do you know, this is an interesting stat. Let me just get the timer going again. There was an interesting stat about Marquinhos that basically he is a Champions League specialist for PSG. He's only played something like, I don't know, 20 games, I think, in Ligue 1 this season. He's barely played because they've saved him for the Champions League. Billy McDougall, as an Arsenal fan, I was disappointed in the club when Partey continued to play. Yeah, I mean that's for me that's the standard I would have expected. I would have expected Arsenal to drop him out the side until the allegation was kind of cleaned up one way or the other. It was the same approach that City took with Mendy, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Benjamin Mendy was given the exact same treatment. Didn't kick a ball for City for a very long time, and he was cleared of whatever charges in the end. And but he lost however many years of his career as a result of it, and that's frustrating. I think he ended up. I don't know if he pursued City for loss of earnings and things like that, and that still happened. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously you have to deal with it in a sensitive way, and I am a big believer in innocence until proven guilty, but I think as a football club, you've maybe got a responsibility to be seen as a bit of a standard bearer. So yeah, I would probably lean towards taking the approach that Bournemouth have with Alex Jimenez. Yeah, Everton and Sigurdsson as well. Very fair. Yeah. All boxed up. Regards the 115 charges, I think it's taken so long because of the legal ramifications that the Prem may incur, and even then it could take years on appeals. No, it can't take years on appeals. That's been kind of codified and locked in now. If City get found guilty of whatever, the punishment applies immediately. City can then, if they so choose, appeal whatever charges, but the charges still take effect. They can appeal for loss of earnings and things like that, but they can't take it further because it would prevent the starting of the new season. If City were ultimately found, let's say they were relegated, City can't appeal that and delay the decision because it delays the start of the new season. It doesn't happen like that. City would have to get relegated and then sue the Premier League for loss of earnings and whatever. Oh, that was naughty. That's going to be a free kick for Millwall. City of Northville, it's just crazy. Bruno never misses games for injury, never comes off the pitch. No idea how he stays so fit. It's because he plays 40% less games than everyone else, mate, I imagine. Luke, how's it going, mate? Lovely to see you. Luke, the marine biologist. Hi, Key, how are you, mate? I am very good, sir. How are you? Tung Tickler, does this go straight to penalties, Key? No, it's a first leg. So there's a second leg that will happen at the Den after this one. That is next week. I think it's next Wednesday, is it? No, City's lawyers will have done everything they can to slow things down, but they can't do any more of that now. The Premier League have apparently, allegedly, a decision has already been made. It's just waiting to announce it. Also, the word is that a fine will be imposed and not points on City should any guilt apportioned. I can see that. I think it'll get wrapped up. I think at the end of this season, we will see a final decision for that 115 charges. And whatever that charge is, people won't be happy. Whatever that final decision is, whether it's City guilty of everything, City guilty of nothing, the punishment, whatever it might be, maybe no punishment at all, maybe a suspended punishment, people will be whinging. So get ready for people to whinge. Hiller says, what about Greenwood? He was cleared but still vilified. No, he wasn't cleared. He wasn't cleared. It's very, very different. Very, very different. He was not cleared. Court of public opinion condemned Mason Greenwood. Quite rightly, many would say. But yeah, he was not cleared. He certainly wasn't cleared. Charges were dropped. Not cleared. Talk Fan TV, Premier League back, Southampton. You got Southampton back in. Strike from Millwall, from Hull, sorry, just over the bar. Nigel says Millwall v Hull second legs this Monday at 8 p.m. Yeah, it's silly though, this is the first time they didn't have Europe. Not like it's some long-running thing. No, I agree, he generally is available, don't get me wrong. I was being facetious. City of Northville, but if charges dropped isn't cleared, that is pretty awful implications for anyone accused of anything. And I think in general, I would agree with you, but in that specific case, everybody saw what the evidence was, didn't they? Everybody saw the evidence. He was tried and convicted in the court of public opinion. And his punishment is, unfortunately, in many ways, he might have been better going through the courts. Because then it would have been a finite kind of, I've served my punishment, I've learned my lesson, I have, discovered the errand of my ways, whatever it might be, right? And then he could have maybe returned and continued his career. In the way that many other footballers did. Many other footballers did exactly the same when they had done similarly horrific things. But because he just kind of continued his career, people maybe felt that he hadn't had quite his comeuppance. Arsenal will hammer the Hammers. Jellyfish, they have better lawyers than UEFA. No, they don't. Shell, who got the yellow card? The yellow card was for Denore. Sure, if Mbappe leaves, where do you think he goes? Surely not Saudi Arabia yet. No, Mbappe's not going Saudi Arabia, and I don't think he will leave, to be honest. Too much money. Jellyfish, yes, they do, Key, because they have the money. Yes, City have the money. UEFA also have the money. Well, Alex Neil, as it stands, is looking a little bit frustrated. I've got to say, I think Millwall maybe would be a little bit disappointed with how the game's gone so far. Hull now down the right-hand side. In the area. Bellumi. Gylfi was cleared of charges, but his career was effectively over. Again, that wasn't cleared, was it? I'm sure that was dropped. It's always, it's the different thing, isn't it? Billy McDougall says, they will make a good example of these charges, I believe, to prevent further breaches from more teams. They do have to set a precedent. They absolutely have to set a precedent. Whatever happens, the Premier League will have to... City are definitely... I say definitely guilty. They are almost certainly guilty of some of the charges which apply to non-compliance, aren't they? That's cut and dry. You don't need a judge. You don't need a court to decide that. The Premier League asked City for information that they are allegedly required to provide, and Many of those 115 charges are City saying, nah, we don't think you have the right to ask for that information. So, nah, we don't think you've got the right. So we're just not going to give you that. Or we'll only give you, half of it. We're not going to give you all the information you want. The Arsenal says, what's your combined Prem team of the season key? I've got 3 Arsenal players in it, Raya, Gabriel and Rice. I think Raya, Gabriel and Rice would probably be in mine as well. Would he? I don't know, actually. I don't know if I'd put Raya in there. I think Gabriel and Rice, yes. And I'd probably be inclined to put Jury and Timber in there, even though I know he's been out injured for a while. I would put Jury and Timber. I think he was tremendous for Arsenal. He played a big part for them this season. So I would say Rice, Gabriel and Timber would definitely be in there. I'd have to have Xhaka. I think I'd probably lean towards Lamens in goal. Just in terms of, I think, of how much of an impact he's had on Man United. I think Senna Lamens would be a big part in that. Lewis says, hope Timber back for the Champions League final. Could be, yes. Could be, apparently. It's interesting how we all said Mourinho was done. He's now going back to the biggest club about. Is Mourinho a desperate appointment? No, I think it's a smart one. I think he's a very good player. A very good manager. Personal preference doesn't dictate stats, mate. Go on, what stats? What stats are you talking about? What stats are you talking about? Go on. Tell me what stats matter. If you say clean sheets, you're off your head. 3-star says, would not expect anything else in the game with what's at stake. It was the same for Forest when we finally got promoted through a championship playoff game. Luke says, which team would you want in the Prem out of the 4 playoffs key? Personally, I would want either of these two, Hull or Millwall. I'd be quite happy with either Hull or Millwall up next season. If Liverpool were offered Raya and Donnarumma, I'd rather us sign Raya. That's just me. Oh, you mean Donnarumma? CJT, here he is. Here is he. Oh, you're speaking like Shakespeare. Here is he, the crybaby. Why do Arsenal make you cry so much? Because I'm a crybaby. Yeah. Love you, Key. Love you too, Tony. How's it going, lads? Raya has had a far better season than Lamens stat-wise. He's been class for them last 3 seasons. Last 3 seasons don't matter, mate. It's only 1 season for Player of the Year or Team of the Year. You don't look back. Otherwise, Salah would have a decent shout, wouldn't he? You don't look back the last 3 seasons. No, you only look this last season. That's it. That's all that matters. And what stats are you talking about? Shahid, yeah, it's not been a great match tonight for these two. Not been a brilliant match, but still. That said, it's an important match, isn't it? It's an important match. Hull need to get a goal quickly. Going to the Den without a goal won't be good for them. Well, Norwich went there and won. Certainly, I think Hull can go there and get a win. But I just fancy Millwall over 2 legs. Ignore the first part. Then I said he's had a far better season state-wise. Well, go on. What stats? You've said stats. What stats? I'm asking what stats. I'm intrigued by what merit you're applying to clean sheets. City of North Hill. How wild does the Prem look next year if they surprise us all and actually hammer City? I don't think anyone has taken it seriously, but imagine it actually happened. What do you think? What do we think is a fair punishment for City, assuming they are guilty of everything? Let's say they're guilty of the lot. Hull, edge of the box. There's a claim for a penalty. Is he going to give it? Offside. Ooh, unlucky. Jellyfish, we've been watching top football, and this was always going to be a step down, but I was expecting more. Listen, I'll level with you. Sometimes the games that we watch in the Championship are far more entertaining. You know, they are a step down in terms of maybe overall quality. But the games, they're far more entertaining. I think what we're seeing tonight is a reflection of two teams who don't want to lose, don't want to concede, rather than two teams really going for it. At least a 10-point deduction. It'll just be a point deduction. Madhouse says 20-point deduction for each season for the last 10 years. Luke says a smack on the wrist is most likely for City. Higher save percentage, Prem Golden Glove, and more clean sheet. Again, you've used two stats there, which is the same thing. I know you're trying to stat pad, but that's the same thing. Golden Glove and more clean sheets is the same thing. You can't use that twice. That's not three things, mate. Clean sheets is not representative of a good goalkeeper. You have to be a good goalkeeper, but clean sheets represent the defence, don't they? Like, David Raya wouldn't be the best keeper and he wouldn't have won Golden Glove if he was in, you know, Everton's net, let's say, this season, would he? If he was in goal for Everton all season, he wouldn't have a Golden Glove, would he? He's a Golden Glove winner because he plays for Arsenal. And there's an argument that if you put other goalkeepers in net for Arsenal, this Arsenal side, then they probably would have won the Golden Glove. So, it's not a reflection of David Raya, or at least it is, but only as part of a broader defence, that Arsenal are seen as the most defensive side in football. So yeah, of course they're going to win the goal. I'd be surprised if their goalkeeper, whoever it was, didn't win the Golden Glove. So what does the higher save percentage mean? It means he saved more percentages of shots that have come at his goal, right? But then if you think about how many shots he has faced at his goal, I would imagine it's a lot less than Senna Lamens. Would you agree? David Raya has probably faced far fewer shots than Senna Lamens, and the types of shots he's faced have probably been from outside the box, maybe from positions where teams are just kind of having a go, like not really too many clear chances. The reason being, Arsenal don't concede many clear chances. United do. So, yeah, if United concede more shots, you would imagine Senna Lamens would be lower on the save percentage. It's just numbers, it's just statistics, mate. It's just statistics. Look at Raya highlights this season, mate, and talk about some of the shots that were taken. And again, now you're leaning back into the subjective, aren't you? You said earlier there's no opinion on it. David Raya is the best keeper in the Prem. There's no opinion. It's stats. And now you're going back to, well, look at the highlights. I've just ripped your stats apart. Now you're looking at the highlights. Come on. Senna Lamens has done very well too. I think it's a bigger impact Senna Lamens at United than David Raya for Arsenal. If you put Jordan Pickford in goal for Arsenal, they'd still be top. There you go. That's my claim. If Jordan Pickford was in goal for Arsenal, they'd still be top. Billy McDougall, David Raya is a good shot stopper, but our defence protects him. Very true. PDM says, I like Raya as a goalkeeper. He does a great job in goal, but Key's right. The defence help him. We make Ramsdale elite in net with the defence he had, who was a goalkeeper who's been relegated 3 times. 3 Star says, let's not forget Arsenal fans last season. Matt Sells shared the Golden Glove with David Raya. Yeah. Matt Sells. Is Matt Sells the best keeper in the Prem? He was joint Golden Glove winner last year. Says a lot when Raya doesn't even start for his country. Hull, 1-0 win. I can retire, says Dr. Wright. Hey, well, I'm rooting for you, mate. Good luck to you. City of Northville. I'd have a pint with Raya. He seems like a fun lad. He's promoting like pre-packed food at the minute, isn't he? All over the internet. Madhouse, what if Onana was in goal for Arsenal? Yeah, that'd be They wouldn't be top if Onana was in. Galt says, what are you thinking for the Champions League final score, Key? I think 3-1 PSG. 3-1. George says, no doubt the quality isn't super high for keepers, but Raya is the best of an average bunch. He's up there. He's up there. I think the fact that he's got so many clean sheets is why he gets a lot of praise and a lot of coverage and press and whatever. And yeah, he's a good keeper. I'm not knocking him. Even Courtois thinks Lamans is better. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying Senna Lamans is better than David Raya, but the team of the season isn't who is the best player in the league. It's who's had the best season. That's why I think Granit Xhaka's in there. I think Senna Lamans is in there. I think there's a lot of players who should be in there. Igor Thiago I would put in there. Even though I don't think he's a fantastic player, actually. I think if anyone buys Igor Thiago, he's catfished a little bit. Medusa Cascade, who would you get in to replace Alisson if he leaves in the summer? We've already got him. Yeah, Mamardashvili. We've already got him. I'm happy with that. I don't want anyone else. We need a good backup if Alisson does go. I hope he doesn't, but if he does, then yeah, we need a decent backup. Will says, in 20 years, when we think of great Premier League goalkeepers, we're not going to think of David Raya. No. No. If he does win a league title, David Raya will be... I mean, that's a question, right? Let's say if we were to think of league title winning goalkeepers, right? Where does David Raya rank among Ederson, Alisson, Joe Hart, Schmeichel, Courtois. Oh, nearly. Check. Yeah, check. Schmeichel, Van der Sar. Trying to think of any more. Maybe even Seaman. I think if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm trying to think of 10 goalkeepers. Who else have I missed there? Who else have I missed? Lehmann, David De Gea. David De Gea never won it, did he? Oh, he did, didn't he? He did last bit with United. Yeah, maybe De Gea. David De Gea. We'll put him in as well. If we say those top 10 goalkeepers in the Premier League, De Gea, Seaman, Van der Sar, Schmeichel, Cech, Courtois, Schmeichel, Hart. I put Casper in twice. Casper and Peter. Hart, Alisson and Ederson, right? Of those 10, where does David Raya sit? In your opinion? League title winning goalkeepers, where does David Raya sit? Who was Blackburn goalkeeper? Tim Flowers was Blackburn's goalkeeper. Yeah, Pepe Reina, I would say, was better, but he never won a league title. So I'm just going to say just league title winning goalkeepers. De Gea, Seaman, Van der Sar, Kasper Schmeichel, Petr Cech, Courtois, Peter Schmeichel, Joe Hart, Alisson, Ederson. If you just look at them, where does David Raya sit? 11th says Medusa Cascade. Terence O'Connor says 11th. Luke says 9th. Lewis says 6th. Mid-table. Yeah, 8th or 9th. Oh, what a strike! Oh, an unbelievable effort there. Millwall very nearly in front. It was a great strike, that. And I think, was it Negley here? Who is it who hits it? Left-footed, wonderful effort. Yeah, Negley with the strike. Left-footed, no chance for the keeper. And it just glances off the post and wide. Whew. I Am Crute says, I'd say he's better than Casper and Joe Hart. Yeah, I would say he's better than Casper and Joe Hart, but not the rest. So I would say he's 9th, isn't he? He's 9th. Even Tim Flowers is ahead of him. Tim Flowers was very good, but I'm not sure I'd put him ahead of David Raya. David Raya was very good. Pepe Reina was better than David Raya. And he won 3 Golden Gloves on the spin. And that wasn't... I would never have said Pepe Reina was the best just because he had 3 Golden Gloves in a row. Hull making a quick change here. And they've just brought on Joseph for Ballumi. Kyle Joseph has just come on, centre forward for Ballumi. Strike! Oh, the header there at the near post from McBurney. He's claiming a corner, but he's not getting it. And Hirakawa, another attacking change for Hull, has just come on for Miller. Hirakawa, who joined from Bristol City in January. He's not even better than Barter. It's not a great Premier, but a good goalkeeper. Underrated keeper since 2018 is Dubravka. And Terence says, who remembers the Everton keeper who used to wear jogging bottoms? The Everton keeper? Was that, Stefan Wessels? Was that Stefan Wessels? I think that's him, isn't it, Terence? Mr. Alshmiri says, with the Barca v Madrid game coming up, did you know neither team has ever won La Liga by winning the Clásico? In 97 years, it's never happened. Barca have a chance to make history on Sunday. And we'll be live for it, yeah. After Arsenal v West Ham, we're going to be doing the Clásico. Can Barcelona lift the title against Real Madrid? Yeah, Gabor Kirai for Palace as well. Hiller says, all this talk of having to win stuff to be a world-class keeper, it's rubbish. Banks played for Leicester and Stoke. No, and that's fair. I'm not saying you have to be world-class or you have to win something to be world-class. There's plenty of players who didn't and were absolutely, definitively world-class. Here's McBurney. Oh, Millwall just squeeze it away. Anfield Vortex. I don't think Mamardashvili's good enough, personally. We should get in Martinez or Manyan. Hang on a minute. You think Manyan is an upgrade on Mamardashvili? Why do you think Mamardashvili's not good enough? I'm really perplexed by that. Every time I've seen Mamardashvili play for Liverpool, I thought he's had a really good game. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of the games that he's played in, we've got beat. Like, he was the goalkeeper against Galatasaray away, made some massive saves, but we got beat. He was a goalkeeper against Brighton away, made some massive saves, but we got beat. I think maybe there's a reputation he's building because Liverpool get beat when he plays, but it's nothing to do with him. We got beat away at Chelsea. I don't think that was anything to do with Mamardashvili then. A rocket in the top corner from Caicedo and a tap in at the far post because Robertson switched off. A lot of these goals that we've conceded when Mamardashvili's been in goal have kind of been explained away by terrible defending. GGS, who's going to win? I think so far it's looking like a 0-0, unfortunately. City of North, I'd argue, keepers have a better chance to be world-class on teams that aren't world beaters. Those are the keepers who get the most action. That's very true, isn't it? Yeah, keepers who... I mean, when we look at keepers who we have considered world-class in the past, they've been keepers who've played for teams maybe just outside the top. Oh, claim for the penalty at the back stick. No, McBurney's not gone for it. Anfield Vortex, he's just unpredictable and too much like a Pepe Reina. Makes me nervous in goal, unlike Alisson. Too much like Pepe Reina. Pepe Reina was, after Alisson, he's the best goalkeeper we've ever had. In, well, my lifetime anyway. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Clements and Grobel. I mean, I think Reina's better than Grobbelaar as well, to be fair. But Reina, after Alisson, is comfortably the best keeper we've ever had. He was incredible, Pepe Reina. If we get a goalkeeper as good as Pepe Reina, we've done well. I don't think we're going to be able to find a keeper as good as Alisson. Alisson was the best keeper in the world. I still think he's one of the best keepers in the world. But injuries are now starting to catch up with him. We will have to move him on at some point, and he wants to go back to Italy, I think, for family reasons. Good luck to him. He's earned his right. Joe Gelhart's come off here for Hull. And Kieran Dowell, ex-Everton midfielder. Kieran Dowell's come on. Luke says, didn't Valdez with United, though? I don't think so. If he did, he didn't start for United, did he? Joe, you could have Pope. Might increase your chances of a heart attack, though. Ben says City away twice. He was in goal. Yeah, and I don't think in either of them games there was any goals that I look at and think, oh, yeah, he was, should have saved them or whatever. A lot of the goals we've conceded are goals that most keepers would concede, I think. Joan Garcia is a good keeper for Barca. He's all right. Yeah, he's all right. Where does Mignolet rank in Liverpool keepers for you? I would say Liverpool keepers would be Alisson, Reina, or Dudek would probably be third. Then it would be Mignolet. Would it? No, it would be Westerveld. Westerveld had a very good season for us. Then I would say Mignolet. And then I'd probably say David James. And then after that, I mean, it's you're kind of scratching around. Those are mainly our keepers, aren't they? We had Brad Friedel for a bit. Yeah. How are you, mate, anyway? I'm good, man. How are you? How's work coming on and studying? Ben, Hull have been in the playoffs twice and got promoted twice, 2008 and 2016. Well, maybe third time's the charm for him. James was like a good version of Onana. David James was an exceptional keeper after he left Liverpool. And I think, again, that was maybe a reflection of how Liverpool played. He was a young keeper. David James was Liverpool's first ever signing in the Premier League. We paid £2 million for him. Dudek was a great watch, yeah. Dudek was just he pulled off some incredible saves. Do you know who Dudek reminds me of a little bit? Kepa. Kepa is an exceptional shot stopper. Some of the best saves I've seen in the Premier League over the last few years have come from Kepa. Absolutely unbelievable keeper. But he just switches off. And that's like the number one thing for goalkeepers, isn't it? It's concentration. Like, can you go a full game having nothing to do, and then one moment you need to switch on and pull something off? Or is that the moment where you have a howler? And Kepa's sometimes guilty of that. Dudek was as well. Sander Westerveld was as well. The best goalkeepers generally are the ones that can stay focus. John, focus. Scott Carson as well, yeah. Yeah, Scott Carson had a few games. Obviously started in the... and Chris Kirkland as well. Shouldn't forget Chris Kirkland. Where would you rank Kirkland? I've just seen Medusa post that, yeah. Where would I put Chris Kirkland? Again, he was never really a starter for us, so Kirkland would probably be, again, in the Scott Carson era. Diego Cavalieri, Brad Jones, Donny. We've had a lot of weird... Charles Itangi. Dudek copied Grobbelaar's drunken legs in the Champions League final against Milan. Legendary, he did, yeah, and it worked, as Sarah said, correct. That's the main thing. James, who's winning tomorrow, lad? Are we going to get embarrassed at home? Liverpool? Nah, we'll beat them. We'll beat Chelsea. Joe says, got my graphic design apprenticeship week placement in July, but just cracking on with mock revision at the minute, getting knackered. Got to keep going, mate. You're getting there. Don't try and burn the candle at both ends. Just focus on what you need to. Millwall, big chance here. Got to strike it. What are you doing? Oh, they've messed around with it far too much. And again, Negley just couldn't quite get the shot away. And when he did, just... sliced it. I am Crute. I found an old framed squad picture of the Liverpool 08-09 full squad key. How many names do you think you'd remember? 08-09. I'd have a go. 08-09. Would we have... I don't know if we'd have won anything. I don't know if we'd have got Carson by then. I think he'd have moved on. Trying to think of the goalkeepers, the backup goalkeepers. I mean, we'll just go through it. I think Arbeloa had left. I think we'd got Glenn Johnson in by then. So I'll say Rayner, Johnson, maybe Degan, maybe Philip Degan. Centre backs in 08-09. Agger, Carragher. I think Huppier had moved on. So I'd go Agger, Carragher. Had Huppier moved on? Did Huppier move on that season, or did he go the year after? Maybe Huppier was still there. I don't know. 12:30, ain't it? Yeah, it is. 12:30. 12:30. Risa, Dossena, Aurelio. Had Risa moved on? Risa might have moved on. Oh, I'm there's so many fringe cases. Aquilani would have been there. Gerrard would have been there. Had Torres moved on by that point? I think he moved on that season, so no, Torres was still there. So tough, that. Johnson came in start of 09-10. All right, okay, so it's before that then. So if it's not Johnson, that's the year after. Then it's Arbeloa. It's Arbeloa and Finnan, I would assume. Was Finnan still? I don't think Finnan had gone. Finnan had gone. It's not Finnan. Hippie is in the picture. Dirk Kuyt. Yeah, Dirk Kuyt was there. No question. I've not got into the attacking positions yet. If it's 08-09, I think Kuhl had gone to Galatasaray by that point. Kuyt was still there. Voronin might have been there still. Again, he was only there for a year, so I don't know. Voronin maybe was still there. Was Spearing there in 08? Yeah, Spearing would have been. But again, we're looking at players who are like squad players. I'm trying to get the nailed on starting 11. Like Albert Riera was probably still there. Albert Riera, Kuyt, Torres, Gerrard, Babel. Babel would have still been there. I'm sure he would. Suarez wasn't there. No, Suarez didn't come for a couple of years. Alfie Doughty's just come on for Zach Sturge, the left back. Are you eating raw eggs like Rocky yet, Key? Getting ready for the World Cup schedule? No, mate. Sleep's the most important thing for the World Cup schedule. Sleep is by far the most important thing, and that's the thing I'm worrying about. To be honest, is can I actually switch off and get to sleep? I mean, I might need to watch a rerun of this game. To be honest, I'll have to record this and watch it back. Madhouse, who's regarded higher amongst Liverpool fans, Gerrard or Souness? It's a generational thing, that. For me, it's Steven Gerrard. He's the best player I've ever seen for the club. Suarez a very close second, but Gerrard is for me the greatest. My dad named his son Graham. Not me. My dad my big brother named him Graham after Graham Souness. So I would imagine my dad would think differently. He might argue that Graham Souness was better than Gerrard. I don't know. We have had that conversation, I'm sure, but no. I think that there's a question there about Gerrard and Souness. For me, it's Gerrard, but that's because I'm younger. For me dad, who grew up watching Souness, it might well be Souness. Sarah says Gerrard. Jellyfish says, I think it'll be a good game, and there's been so many great games between the two. Gerrard against Lampard, etc. Great games. I have a picture with Graham Souness. Nice, Clarky. I like him. I like Souness. It's a shame, really, that he's not on punditry more, because I think Souness is a little bit like Roy Keane. I quite like him. I quite like the prickliness. I like that they kind of have a go at the players and they'll say, got to do better. I like that. I like that. Madhouse says Souness, easy K, 100%. Fair enough. I'm not going to disagree with you. I've seen a lot of Souness for Liverpool, and he certainly was a wonderful player. You know, but again, you're kind of limited to watching clips plus occasional full videos that you're able to get. Like I have seen a lot of full games involving Liverpool from the kind of early and mid-80s, and a lot of clips of Souness. I remember the famous clip. There was a famous clip of Graham Souness playing for Middlesbrough, and it's what prompted Liverpool to sign him, allegedly. Graham Souness was playing for Middlesbrough, and at the time, he was known as a hard case. He was an up-and-coming player at Borough, and he was a bit of an hard case. And Liverpool's hard case at that time was Jimmy Case. He had the hardest shot in football, Jimmy Case, and he was known as a bit of an hard nut. He used to go in for a bit like Roy Keane was for United, I guess, in many ways. Jimmy Case was a fabulous player, and when Middlesbrough played Liverpool at Anfield, Jimmy Case and Souness went in for a tackle, and there's a famous clip where Jimmy Case and Souness go in for a tackle. They fly into each other, and Souness, Case is on the floor like this, like looking up at him, and Souness grabs him round the neck and goes like that, like, I'll knock 7 bells out of you if you don't wind your neck in. My dad watched Tommy Lawton, never got to watch any player of that class. It's lots of fabulous players back in the day. Julian Lockhart, who's your least favourite Liverpool player, current or past? El Hadji Diouf. El Hadji Diouf would be very close. Lewis, if Arsenal put in a proper bid for Suarez, would he have left? No. I think he wanted to leave Liverpool. Millwall chance! It's 1-0. Is it going to count? Oh, it's offside. Oh, nearly, very nearly 86 minutes on the clock. The referees give offside. Or does he give a goal kick? What's he give? Did he say they got the ball and gone out to play there? Let's see. I think it's offside, is it? What's he give? What's he give? Oh, he's give a foul. Oh, that's so tough, man. That's so harsh. I don't think it was offside. I think he's dragged it back for a foul, hasn't he? I think it's the foul at the near post. Ivanovic has just come on for Josh Coburn. Souness doing the flag thing in Turkey, yeah. Planting the flag on the pitch in the Galatasaray game. John Barnes, yeah. Barnes is another one. Yeah, Jamie Carragher. I mean, look, ask Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher says John Barnes is probably the best player he's ever seen for Liverpool, and a lot of Liverpool fans of that era say the same. He was incredible. Again, I only have ever really got to watch John Barnes. It was a different type of John Barnes. It was kind of like Ryan Giggs for United. Again, I'm comparing it to a player more of my era growing up. I saw Ryan Giggs come through as a young player and grow into kind of the shitbag that he was. But no, he developed more into a central midfield player. John Barnes became that for Liverpool, didn't he? Kind of moved, lost a bit of pace, and drifted into midfield and started to play more centrally, and he was still really good. Still really, really good. North End Views only popping in late, but hey Key, hey chat. Good lad. Good to see you. Harry Sinclair, it's the foul he gave. I thought he gave a foul. I don't know why he did. That wasn't a foul to me. I don't know how he's given a foul for that. Clarky Key, what's your best Liverpool team of all time? Write it down. I've done this one many, many times, and it changes a few times. Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Huppier, Robertson, Gerrard, Henderson, Thiago or Coutinho. I'm going to go Thiago. Gerrard, Henderson, Thiago, and then I would go with Coutinho off the left instead of Mane. Coutinho, Suarez, Salah. There you go. That's mine. And it changes quite a bit as well. Luke says, do you think Ange was overrated, Key? No, I think he's underrated, if anything. Rob, how's this game been? The game has been pretty much as you can see. 0-0. It's not been great, yeah. John Lundstrom just coming on for Regan Slater for Hull. 88 minutes on the clock. Last 2 minutes of normal time before we're put out of our misery. 3-star says to you young'uns, all I can say, it was a pleasure to see the greats like Souness, Dalglish, Robson, Jennings, Shilton, Francis Lee, and that's just a few. I'd have Skirtle over Huppier. Skirtle! Martin Skirtle over Sammy Huppier. Wow! I've never ever known that. That's a really rogue shout, that, sir. I've never heard anyone say that. Fair play. Never heard anyone say Huppier dropped for Skirtle. It's not a foul, is it, JW? I didn't think that was a foul, no. No, not for me. Just spotted a young Jay Spearing in that picture. Has he ever left the club? He did leave the club, yeah. He left and played for Bolton for many years and various other teams, and then he came back as a coach, and he's now playing. He's a registered player for Liverpool, Spearing, but I think plays exclusively in the academy and reserves games. According to Jan Molby, Barnes is the best ever Liverpool player. Wouldn't be surprised if he felt that way. He was a fabulous player. Wasn't the main reason Barnes lost pace was an injury he suffered playing for England? Yes, it's another reason why Liverpool fans have never been in love with players going away for England. Jellyfish, Ange was down under criticism and couldn't get the baby Barbie started on the pitch. He tried, but the fucker won't start. Mr. Al-Shamari, my 0-0 prediction's holding up. It is. We've not got long left. Nabil Elzar, Stephen Darby, yes, Stephen Darby, God love him. Who's currently struggling with it's motor neuron disease, isn't it? He's having a real tough time at the minute, Stephen Darby. The Derby Rimmer Foundation raise lots and lots of money, do really, really good work for people with motor neuron disease. Awful, awful illness. And something we've seen, obviously, a lot of people struggle with in recent years. The former Leeds rugby player, Rob, I forget his name now. What was his name? The Leeds rugby player. Struggling. Who else? Christian Nemeth as well. Yeah, he was another one. Julian Lockhart, what is your favourite Anfield moment? I've seen a lot in my time live, but in terms of ones just any recently, I'd say Dejan Lovren against Dortmund, you know. Everton, Origi against Everton was great. Yeah, Origi against Everton will live long in the memory. But Lovren against Dortmund, that felt like the start of the Klopp era. Medusa, Hippie is the first defender I think of when I think of Liverpool teams. He was unreal. He had more challenges in him. Sammy was a bit of a big, gentle giant. Sammy had just read the game really well. Sammy's the closest thing I've seen to Van Dijk in previous Liverpool teams. But there was an argument to say that Oncho was better than Sammy Hippier in some seasons. He was a fantastic defender, Stefan Oncho. The best ever save in an FA Cup final. Aga was too injured. Otherwise, I'd agree. Aga was very good, yeah. Hull, far post. Millwall, clear it away. We've got 4 minutes of added time here. Anfield Vortex, thanks again for being here tonight, Key. Helping me take my mind off things. Absolutely great show. Good to have you in, mate, as always. And sending love. We're always here. You know that. Rob Burrows, that's the one. Yeah, Rob Burrows. Some fella. Egbert, can you rank these players? Van Dijk, John Terry, Stam. I think I'd go Van Dijk, Stam, Terry. John Terry was very good. He was just an abhorrent human being. But yeah, Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk and Stam, there is an argument to say that they are the two most talented centre-backs we've seen in the Premier League ever. I think Van Dijk and Stam were probably the top two, but John Terry was incredible, yeah. Bye-bye Tottenham. Mine in recent memory is that Harry Maguire goal. Again, and yeah, there's quite a few. There's not been that many really for United at Anfield, has there? Cheers, Harry. As a Man United fan, my favourite Liverpool team of all time would be Dudek, Flanagan, Traore, Nat Phillips, Dossena, Spearing, Ince, Aquilani, Kuhl, Owen and Ngog. Will Van Dijk be a regular starter next season? Yeah, he should be. Van Dijk's incredible. There's nothing wrong with Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk's not the issue. It's the 10 players around him. I've seen United fans say the 5-0 at Old Trafford hurt more than the 7-0 just because it was at home. Yeah, we've done them a few times at Old Trafford and at Anfield. Jellyfish, disappointed in the game. It's not been a great game, has it? Listen, we try and choose the best ones, and do you know what? Tonight there weren't too many fantastic games we could have watched. I was always going to do this one, but there weren't too many others for what it's worth. We could have done Levante against Osasuna, which was on tonight in La Liga. Let's see what other games might have looked like if we'd have done them. Do you think Dominic Slobby Slide will perform up to par next season? I can't really answer that question because it's been the way it's been phrased makes me die a little bit inside. Slobby Slide. Liverpool will struggle when Alisson Becker leaves. I mean, maybe. He's a world-class keeper. He's the best keeper in the world for me. I think if you lose a player that good, you're always going to struggle. Yeah, Torino v Sassuolo was another one in maybe Serie A. Well, there's not really been too many others. Northern Views, I think JT is a better last-ditch challenge defender. Van Dijk has better spatial awareness and just totally nullifying attacks. Just my opinion, though. I mean, as Maldini says, as Paolo Maldini always said, if you have to slide, if you've tackled, you've already kind of lost the game. Right, there you go. 0-0. Safe to say it wasn't a cracker tonight. It wasn't a belting game tonight. We've had many, many better. It's not been the best game, no. Torino against Sassuolo was 2-1. We would have at least seen goals in that one. Levante Osasuna is 2-2, and Osasuna are down to 10 men. We missed a classic in La Liga tonight. We could have done that one maybe. But yeah, listen, I think this one goes into the second leg on Monday now at the Den. Millwall will probably go into that as favourites in a one-off game. You've got to expect fireworks in that one. I think now we've got, on Tuesday night, we're going to be doing Southampton against Middlesbrough. The second leg of that one, I'll be live for the second leg. And we can see who the winner of these meet in the final, in the Wembley final, which is on the 23rd of May. I'll be live for that one as well. Are you doing the Conference League final? I don't think so. When is the Conference League final? It's tomorrow, isn't it? Is it tomorrow? Conference League final. No, that's the National League North playoff final, isn't it? The Conference... Hang on a minute. The Conference League final. Oh, that, as in Palace. Yeah, Palace v Rayo. Yeah, Wednesday, 27th of May. Of course I am. Yes. Yeah. Right. That's me for tonight then. Thank you everyone for your likes, for your comments, for your shares. If you've not already, do us a favour, leave a like on the way out. Thank you everyone for the chat and the conversation tonight. It's been lovely, even if the game hasn't. I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be back again at 11:30. If you're a member, we'll be doing our members-only live prediction show where we'll be going through all 10 of the Premier League's weekend fixtures tomorrow at 11:30. As we always do before the start of a Premier League fixture list. We'll be doing game week 36 tomorrow, predicting all the Premier League games, and then we'll go straight from that into Liverpool and Chelsea, which starts at 12:30. I'll be live at 12 for that. So 11:30, the members only live starts. If you want to join that, you can join the Premier League Dad Members Club. No pressure, of course, but I will see you all tomorrow if you're not. Either way, for Liverpool Chelsea, 12 o'clock. Take it easy. Enjoy your Friday night. Ta-da.